Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's class. And as you can see, today's class is about management of transport. We're going to be looking at transport as a resource and as a manager. What is your role, responsibility, and some key things you should look out for under transport management. So our learning objectives, as you can see, is that by the end of this unit, you should be able to 1. Define transport, list the various means of transport available in health facilities, plan vehicle allocation, understand the logbook and why it is important, outline the major uses of transport in the health facility, explain why transport is important in health facilities, and lastly, the importance of carrying out regular inventory of transport. So, means of transport, what means are available to you as a health facility, or what options are there? Okay, you as a manager of a health facility, you need to transport to perform various activities of your health unit. And the various forms we may use include can be food, can be animal, can be bicycle, can be motorcycle, can be vehicle, or boat. Now I know that most of these seem weird to most of us, but if you've traveled the country, you know that in some places, some of these seemingly primitive methods or means are actually still being used. Things like bicycles, yes, things like donkeys. Some places are really very they are still developing, let's call it like that. Or even because of the terrain, they cannot afford to use vehicles like motorcycles and the rest. And then for our friends who work on islands now, boats becomes their means of transport. So, what is the importance of transport in health facilities? 1, emergency. In case there is an emergency, there is need to move. Okay, a person is sick. Something needs to be done so quickly. A mother is in labor, but it has complicated. You understand? So, transport helps us in emergency conditions. Secondly, delivery of supplies. Yeah, quite obvious. Depending on how much quantity, you also determine what means to use. Thirdly, administrative support. In terms of transporting administrators for meetings, to reach places in time. Okay, to promote the accessibility to other places, to field, you name it. Number 4 is supervision, especially for community programs. Yes, going out to teach about sanitation, immunization, health education, all those things. Following up, supporting, even inspection of those programs will require transportation there. Then transport can also be used for training, especially for things that are off-site, workshops, conferences, community engagement. Yeah, so service delivery in case you're having services beyond the facility. Yes, immunization, mobile health care, DOTS. Okay, communities, outbreaks. Yeah, then also for meetings beyond the facility, at the district, at ministry, meet all those meetings that happen. Okay, so lastly, it ensures that defects are found and addressed before they become a problem, and thus reduces the cost of potential repairs in the future of the vehicle. Okay. So importance of management of transport. One, it is a resource like any other, and in management we talk about efficiency. We should use resources maximally without wastage. Okay, so understanding the resource, how it operates, the tools to monitor it helps us to become efficient and also to be effective. Okay. Better management of vehicles has a bigger impact on service delivery than increase in vehicles. Yes, when you have your vehicles and you take care of them properly, there is, in the long run, when you compare with people who just take their things carelessly, you who maintains yours, you will ensure continuity of service delivery compared to someone who just increases, keeps buying, replacing. Yeah, then transport has high costs in time and money as regards to its purchase, maintenance, repair, insurance, fuel, and replacement. Yes, as I've told you, that it can be costly, so you need to know where the money is going. Okay, even in planning, to plan effectively. Then it's usually the third largest cost in the health service delivery after staff and medicines, so you can understand the magnitude of its importance. Improved management of transport frees more vehicle time to service delivery. Yeah, you have more time with the vehicle to deliver your services. It saves time, money, and lives. That's obvious, to avoid death and injury from traffic accidents, because in case there is a problem, you can easily identify it. You have funds set aside for those unexpected happenings. Yes, so the mechanical condition is always kept on point. It also minimizes risks to operators and users, as well as anyone in proximity of a roadway. Yes, that's a bit obvious. Protection, safety measures. So you can see that managing transport is very important. So proper transport management can help reduce some of the most serious risks associated with transport, illustrated on the next slide. So we're going to see what risks can come from transport. Number one, to the drivers and the staffs, they can get injured, they can die. There is also need for temporary replacement of personnel to cover the injured staff members. Okay, so that happens to you and you need to know about it. To the community, you can cause injury, you can cause death, it can cause lawsuits. Okay, it can also lead to loss of cooperation and confidence due to a negative public image. Yeah, depending on your public relations, or even because of accidents that happen. Then to the vehicle, the use of transport, there will likely be repairs and replacements of vehicles. Then to the donors, loss of donation, cancellation of projects due to negative publicity and donor perception of a poorly managed organization. Okay, so it's important to look out for these things, because that means if you don't do proper transport management, these ones will most likely come. So let's now look at additional vehicle operator responsibilities that are specific to health and safety. And Safety equipment requirements may include warning triangles, helmets, first aid kits, fire extinguishers, high visibility vests and jackets, and other protective clothing, puncture repair kits, shovels, tow ropes or cables in case the car gets stuck or falls in a ditch. If they can, those ropes they can use to pull it up by other cars, water cans in case of a fire, and fuel. So this next slide is a bit bulky, but these are some safety measures to undertake when taking a trip. Okay, so number one is that drivers should not operate when they are tired or unfit. Seats should be correctly adjusted for the height of the driver and secured. Taking regular breaks during the journey to rest, avoiding things like smoking, eating, drinking, phones when in motion. They should not drink and drive. They should be cooperative on the road with other drivers or other road users like pedestrians, other drivers, and change accordingly. Also being able to anticipate hazards such as corners, bridges, potholes, so that you correctly maneuver them. Understanding how weather affects how a car is driven. For example, it's not on some roads, it's not good to when it rains they become very, very slippery. So having that knowledge is important so that you don't overspeed. You can easily slide off the road. When it is wet, stopping distances should become 2 or 3 times greater than for dry roads. I've mentioned that. Drivers should use lights and signals to be visible to other road users. You know how we use those lights, the brakes, when you're about to turn. Yeah, those indicators. They should wear high visibility clothing if on a bicycle or a motorcycle. These days we use highlighter jackets that reflect and show the driver behind that there is someone moving ahead. Drivers should not assume that every pedestrian can hear an approaching car, so they have to be vigilant for animals as well as human beings on the road. Special attention should be given to children and elderly people. Yes, when they are using the road, you have to be very careful. They can be a bit slow, they can be unpredictable, as we said. National and local speed limits should be obeyed. Yes, according to the guidelines. In case of a breakdown, put the vehicle in the safest position possible to avoid collisions with parked cars, like yours is parked and others are colliding. Okay, so most times people put those can put like stones, they can put like warning signs, can put those shrubs to indicate that the car has broken down. When visibility is not clear, drivers must use headlights, okay, to show that they are approaching. And also drivers should always operate vehicles based on their training. Yes, we have licenses according to different vehicles. So people who drive taxis have a certain type of a license. People who drive these heavy trucks also have a certain license given to them, and also people who are personal drivers or people who drive normal cars also have a certain license that they must acquire. So people should drive cars that they trained for too, because that training comes with special considerations, special trainings for that specific type of vehicle. So ensure that